Oops. There we go. Welcome everyone to the Rotary Club of Oshkosh, proudly serving our community for 103 years. We're an old club, huh? And this year's Rotary theme is Rotary Opens Opportunities. And now please join me with a song. The song. Yay. Okay, and I would like to call on Jim Power, please, for the reflection.
You can see me?
Do we show Jim?
No.
Yeah. There you go, Jim.
Oh, okay.
We can see
All right.
you.
All right. This is a reflection called Be One in Unity. Give us a blessing so that our worlds and actions be one in unity, that we be able to listen to each other, and in so doing, we shall, with good heart, walk hand in hand to face the future. In the presence of the outside, we are thankful for many blessings. I make my prayer for all people, the children, the women, the men. I pray that no harm will come to them, and that on a great island there will be no war, that there will be no ill feelings among us. From this day on, may we walk hand in hand. So be it.
Thank you very much, Jim. That was nice. And now please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now, are there any Rotarians who have guests? If so, please introduce them to the club.
We do have one visiting Rotarian, Henry from Uganda, and we're also going to have a little bit hear from him a little bit later.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome, Henry. Anybody else? No? Okay. And today's chuckle is, dolphins are so smart that within a few weeks of captivity, they can train people to stand on the very edge of the pool and throw them fish. So anyway, and now I'd like to call on Deb Wertz to give us our national days.
Okay, thank you, Ada.
You're
January
welcome.
11th, today is Cigarettes Are Your Health Day. Heritage Treasures Day. Learn Your Name in Morse Code Day. Clean Off Your Desk Day. National Gluten-Free Day. National Hot Toddy Day. And National Milk Day.
Hot toddy and milk. Thank you, Deb, very much. And now I would like to call on Karen Shabline. She's got an important notice to give us.
Okay, so Ada, this is what we're doing right now, right?
Yes,
Okay, you kind of threw me for a minute.
I did.
You did. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're not. Okay.
Keeping
Anyway.
you on your toes.
Yes. Well, today I have the pleasure of presenting a couple of Paul Harris Fellow Awards. And I'm doing this because Teresa Van Aken, who is our foundation chair right now, is on leave. So I've been asked to step in for her. And I wanted to explain a little bit about what a Paul Harris Fellow is, which the majority of us know, but perhaps some of our newer members don't. And it's a contribution that Rotarians make to the International Rotary Foundation, not our local one, not our local Rotary Club, but the international one. And it's receives and disperses funds that support our cause of increasing world understanding and peace. And at such time as their contributions total $1,000, they're recognized as Paul Harris Fellows in honor of our founder. And we present them a certificate, a beautiful pin, sometimes a medallion. And we now have over 1 million Paul Harris Fellows. But I want to remind everyone that becoming a Paul Harris Fellow is not a milestone. It's a milestone, it's not a destination. So I'm getting this weird feedback. It's not me, right? We ask those that become Paul Harris Fellows to continue supporting the foundation. And we recognize them as multiple Paul Harris Fellows at such time as they contribute an additional $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. Additional $1,000, they're presented with a pin with a stone, either a sapphire or a ruby. And today, we have 2 of our members who have reached multiple Rotaries, Paul Harris Fellows. Kathy Zimmerman and John Fuller. Thank you for your contributions to the Rotary Foundation of Rotary International, which allays suffering, improving living conditions, and provides educational opportunities for young people somewhere in the world. Your gifts are truly selfless actions and demonstrate your commitment to our common goals of world understanding and peace. Therefore, on behalf of the president of Rotary International and the chairman of the trustees of the Rotary Foundation, it gives me great pleasure to present to you a multiple Paul Harris Fellow lapel pin. And okay, Don. And first of all, this is Kathy Zimmerman. If we can, Kathy has 2 beautiful rubies. And John Fuller, sorry guys. And John Fuller here has 1 ruby in his pin. And I want to remind people who John Fuller and Kathy Zimmerman are. And one of the reasons that I do this is because they're our neighbors. They're the people next door. They're not rich by any means, unless, you know, they do something I don't know about, but they truly are Rotarians that not only volunteer with our service projects and our fundraisers, but they donate their money supporting our causes as well as their time and talents. John Fuller, it's his Paul Harris Fellow +6, as I said. His first was back in 1989, and he's also been a past president of this club. Kathy Zimmerman is a Paul Harris Fellow +7. Her first was in 1998. Kathy is a benefactor, which means that she has promised additional funds either in her will or in another way to the foundation. And she's also a past president of our club and a past district governor. So at this time, would you please join me in congratulating Kathy Zimmerman and John Fuller? Do we want to hear from either one of them? Kathy?
I would like to thank you very much for honoring me with this Paul Harris Award. I want to say it's more important than ever that we now support our Rotary Foundation, because when we come out of this pandemic, the needs around the world are going to be tremendous. And Rotary will again play a significant role in meeting these needs. And we'll need our dollars behind it to accomplish it. So this isn't a hard check to write, and I hope you people find so also. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. You know, the foundation, Rotary Foundation is so important and does so much good around the world. And we see the good that Rotary does in our community and throughout the state and the United States. It's also so important around the world and needed more than ever.
Thank you.
Well,
I did want to remind everyone, when we do start meeting in person, feel free to sit down at a table with one of these two fantastic people to learn more about Rotary and what they've been doing to make Rotary a part of their lives as well. So thank you.
okay, thank you very much to both, well, to Karen for doing the presentation, and congratulations to both John and Kathy. And thank you for all that you do. Now I would like to call on Don Griffin. He has something to share with us. So. Are you there,
And,
Don?
yep, and I'm
Okay.
going to take over the screen for a moment.
Okay.
So this is also a little bit of good news story, especially with political turmoil, not only in our country, but in Uganda, where this young girl is from. And when Henry first sent me this picture, I loved her smile. But what I didn't notice was the mosquito bites on her face. She lives in a rural part of Uganda where, you know, poverty and where water either is kind of feast or famine. So water collects, pools, and you know, poor sanitation and all of that kind of stuff. So, and then, like I said, you know, when it stops raining, they have to actually dig for the water. So Henry's club, Henry is the president-elect of the Koala, let me get my notes back up here again. Koala Kampi, he also worked with the Rotary Club and the Youth Arc of Uganda. And one of the things that I'm grateful that Henry was able to join us is I do have some other pictures, but rather than me telling his story, I thought I'd let him tell the stories as I kind of changed through the pictures here.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Rotarian Don. I'm very happy to be here. I don't know if I'm audible enough.
You are.
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm very happy. I just received your message in the evening. As I had been communicated to you just before that, my name is Nsamba Henry from the Rotary Club of Kampala, Kawempe in Uganda. We are in District 9211, that is Uganda and Tanzania. Uganda and Tanzania in East Africa. Kawempe is based in Kampala, which is the capital city of Uganda, and that is in the central Uganda. Kawempe is in the southern part of Kampala. Most parts of Kawempe are slummy, made of slum population, where people are living in slums, and it is where you find the city poor. Of course, there are other divisions where you might find people living in better living conditions, but this side of ours, we are faced with floods. People built in the swampy area, so we are faced with floods whenever it rains, and there is always stagnant water. But I'm happy to share with you, and we had agreed as a club that after a few phases of the distribution of mosquito nets, which we are doing under our Rotary malaria fight project, in which we are partnering with Oshkosh club. We had prepared the PowerPoint presentation, which will come after the phases of distribution. But that is one of the distribution which we just made before Christmas. And we had to travel to reach out to some area out of Kampala, because we have a phase out in the rural, a phase in our area, which is Kawempe. Actually, we have two phases in Kawempe in different zones. We just had a distribution over the weekend of the photos I shared with you, Rotarian Dawn. That one with a vehicle is when we traveled out of Kampala. We traveled to a place called Ruwero. It is in the rural. We reached out to vulnerable homes. Those are some of the road tractors, and those are some of the means we used to distribute. We had to we carried mosquito nets, we carried used clothes, we took jerry cans, basins, cups, and plates. We took sugar, we took soap, we took paraffin, which helps these vulnerable homes to light up. That is a photo from over the weekend. That is one of the homes which we visited. You can see deep there, you can see water stagnant on the veranda of the house. It is a sunny season where we are having sunshine, but you can see the water, it is stagnant there. So just a little bit of rain can make that place flood, and that water floods into the house. So we were asking the gentleman, how can we help you remove that water? Yes, we would remove the water, but whenever it rained, the water would come back and be there. So definitely the mosquitoes would breed in there. That is another home we had visited. Those are the orphans. It is a foster home where we are keeping two of those children. The other children are children of that family. The other two young children are orphans that we talk to that family to help us look after the children. So you can see they are sitting down. We had brought some food. We had brought mosquito nets. And so from the other distribution, which I was talking about, we had traveled to Ruwero, a place called Ruwero. And we spent there 2 days. We made a camp. I think you have those photos. We had a fire camp where we spent the whole night outside. That family there, Rotarian Dawn, has a building, but I'll get you another photo. They don't have a roof. They are sleeping in a house without a roof. So when it rains directly into the house. So the Rotarians, we are interrogating the family how they can help get them to have a roof above the home. Those are some of the children who live there, and the mother is doing nothing while having 4 children. But they have no source of income that can help them get some food or anything. Otherwise, we shall be very happy, President and other Rotarian, to prepare for you a presentation which will be in a PowerPoint, a report of what has transpired. So far, we've reached out to, that is a Grandi, that small wooden house you can see. It is where she lives with 2 grandchildren. One of the grandchildren, she's not even related. She's just helping an orphan. So we had come to visit, and she's called Jajambwa. Jaja means grand. According to our language, she's called the Jajamba or Jajambwa. If you see that water, that is a compound. You can see me putting on gumboots, and they are wet. I was just coming out from that home to deliver some food and a mosquito net. And you can see my gumboots are still wet. So I was giving information to my past president of what the information I had collected. That water you can see it is in green color, meaning it is ever there. It is stagnant, and the people are living in there. They walk barefooted in that water. So we were also trying to brainstorm how we can help them see that water flow away from their compound. So we are very happy. Yes, Rotarian Dawn. That's why the reason we carry clothes. You can see that gentleman there. We had delivered the mosquito net. You can see that mosquito net in between the jelly cans and the Benson and the cup. But the gentleman didn't even have clothes to put on. So we had to walk again back where we had camped to pick some clothes for him. Again, I think there is also a photo of a Grandi. Yes, those are some of the homes we visited in Iruwero, and we were very happy. One of the message I want to pass on that each home we visited was giving us blessings, and we are sharing those blessings with the Rotary Club of Oshkosh. All members, please be blessed as blessings from these vulnerable homes. They were very happy. I wish I am pleading to have a chance to prepare a report, various photos and videos of what transpired from the very few phases we've so far taken. We've visited over 182 homes now. Our target is 500 homes. And at least we have the mosquito nets in stock. We are yet to have, we are waiting for elections to end, which elections we are going to have on Thursday. There is a lot of tension, and everybody is keeping home. But as soon as the elections are done, we are hoping to have other phases of distribution. Thank you, Rotarian Dawn.
Thank you, Henry. And just to kind of recap, this is a project that you guys have pulled together, going door to door, talking about educating on malaria prevention and treatment, sanitation and hygiene, distributing of mosquito nets, fumigating homes of bed bugs and mosquito grounds, slashing, cleaning, opening water drainage channels, as you've talked about. One of the things that I thought was really interesting, actually, the board thought it was interesting, planting 50 neem trees, which are also referred to as the tree of life. These are natural pesticides for the mosquitoes and other tests. It was our endowment that helped fund the majority of this, but one of the things that I liked about the picture of the jerry cans on top of the head is that the in-kind contributions of the people within Uganda, boxes of water, digging equipment, sanitizing, training spaces, masks, service vehicles, washing of hands, loudspeakers, and then also, as you mentioned, used clothes and for children. So, it's been that's one of the joys of Rotary, is being able to be part of being able to take action and make lasting change. So without any further ado, Ada, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Okay, and thank you very much for your presentation, Henry. We look forward to hearing from you again. So how do I get back to? I guess the next thing up is announcements while I get back to. How do I get Alt? What is it? Alt?
Alt and then the tab key. Until it highlights again. Or yeah. Well, and you need to also start sharing again.
Okay, so there we are. And we'll move on to announcements. Are there any announcements? If not, then,
Ada,
yes?
there were some announcements from Jolene.
Okay,
That still need another volunteer for the Friday skate. Also, South Park Middle School will be joining the Super Bowl. And then also need one more volunteer for Friday from 5 to 7:15.
this Friday.
I'm assuming that is Julie.
Okay. I don't know if she's there. I'll find out and I will send out an email to members. So regarding that. So anybody else with announcements? Then are there any happy dollars? Okay, if not, then I would like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't see the happy dollars.
Yeah, I got one.
Okay, great.
Deb Wertz forgot an important day. Today is National Awareness Trafficking Day. Many of you remember my daughter-in-law, Lisa Senholz, who has Damascus Road. And they're out on by our sundial out at Main Street right now, not picketing, but making people aware about national trafficking. And I got $20 for that announcement.
Okay, David, thank you for bringing that up. Anybody else? Okay. Ándale, ándale.
Happy dollar because our students are going back to school starting today and transitioning from virtual into hybrid. And I am so excited and cannot wait until we can transition from hybrid to 5 days a week. So I'm definitely giving a happy dollar on that.
That's great news, Vicki. Thank you. Anybody else? If not, then I would like to call on Bill Bracken to introduce our speaker.
Thanks, Ada.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy to introduce our speaker today, Jim Krueger. As many of you know, I was past president of the Learning and Retirement Program, and Jim is now the current president. And I would say the transition was very smooth. I don't think there were any hiccups in the transition of power in that organization that I'm aware of anyway. But let me tell you a little bit about Jim. He was born and raised in Oshkosh. He did his undergraduate degree at Marquette. He attended the Medical College of Wisconsin, the medical school there. The only bad thing is he did his residency at the University of Michigan, and the Badgers play Michigan tomorrow, and they're undefeated. So, but he tells me he never roots for the University of Michigan, so that's good. He did his internal medicine practice in Southern Indiana for 34 years. He moved back to Oshkosh in 2015, and he's very active in genealogy research. And he's going to talk about learning and retirement. So, Jim, take it away.
Thank you, Bill. I'm going to pop open my screen here and get the PowerPoint going. There we go. Is that coming through all right for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
We're seeing the presentation slide versus the actual presentation.
Let me see here. That work out better?
Yeah, if we refresh, we might be able to see it. It's cut off on my screen.
Okay. Let me do this and okay. That was working good now?
That works good.
Okay, thank you. I just swapped the screens. I've got two monitors and it's hard for me to tell which one is showing. As Bill indicated, I'm involved with learning and retirement, and I'm here to give you an update on what we're doing now with the way things are. As you well know, the educational institution part of all of this is the University of Wisconsin Division of Online and Continuing Education. That's who's our support and who is our sponsor with the university. They supply to our members access to the Polk Library and the exercise program and a reduced price parking pass. At the present time, they don't much need a parking pass. When things are up to usual activity, it's not a parking pass so much as a hunting license. But that's what the university provides us, and especially provides us with a couple of staff members that I'll talk about later. I'm here mostly to emphasize what our members do. This is, according to our own documents, a self-directed membership-based organization. The members choose the topics, they do the organization, they run the tours when we have them, and participate in peer-related teaching and learning as well. We're fond of saying it's all the fun of learning without tests and grades. One of the reasons I'm here is to make more people aware of learning in retirement. I find that it's one of our best kept secrets in the area. Many people who could make good use of this educational activity just do not know about it. I'm going to show you how the structure of the program was in the past until you know what occurred. You know this as well as everybody else, which is why you're meeting in the way you're meeting now. And usually we had 50 offerings or more each semester. We used the UW Oshkosh faculty and other experts, and some of the members themselves present and provide activity. We had some presentations accompanied by lunch or a supper, and we had tours to different areas, theaters, music, businesses. Now, as things developed and how it is now, for the sake of safety, we and all in-person presentations and tours stopped in March. We had a discussion on what to do next. And we decided that we did not wish to completely lose our contact with our membership, but to change to video conferencing. We had very good cooperation from our loyal presenters. We were able to get 30 plus offerings this past semester and this coming semester. We realized that there were positive elements to this system. People who were geographically disparate from Oshkosh could make use of these activities if they wished. In fact, we had one person who moved away from here and continues to watch our presentations anywhere he's got a internet connection. During the summer, we were doing training of the software for staff, members, and presenters. We have two part-time staff members from the online and online activities division. They wrote up instruction sheets while teaching themselves what to say. Their support was just extraordinary. They have gotten extremely good with production, and we do it in a website sign on, a webinar structure with the audio silence, no video for members, just because there's just too many people. And we use written Q&A for questions for the presenters. That's worked out better than you would have thought. They are able to field the questions at the end of their presentation rather nicely. These are the sort of topics that you would expect to see in a typical semester. As you can tell, it's varied. And the topics come from the members themselves or previous presenters who came up with another idea and so forth. I've brought together here a few of the presentations that are going to be coming in this semester. I like to emphasize that local topics are very important to us. We like to know what's going on in our own community. For instance, the stories from Oshkosh's past are coming from Randy Domer, who you may know from his publications and also his presentations in other circumstances. Getting a presentation from the Sustainability Institute at UWO on food and sustainability in the UWO area. The fire department answers more fall and medical runs than they do fires. And they cooperated with a consultant to do a study on fall prevention in Winnebago County. And we're going to get a rundown on that and probably some personal suggestions that would be of use to us. We all know that the Oshkosh Area Community Pantry exists, but we don't know exactly how much and in what way that they're contributing to the community. And that's coming up in a presentation from their CEO. And representative from the Convention and Visitors Bureau is going to talk about the importance of tourism to the Oshkosh area. And it's not just fish. There's a lot more going on than that. We'll get a story from the museum people and the library people on separate presentations on what's new. And also hear from the Deputy Director of Emergency Management, because as became very clear with recent activities, you got to be prepared for who knows what. This is some of the topics that apply to current events. Most trusted profession actually is the title from a group of people from the nursing school at UWO who feel that their profession is most trusted. They do have an exceptional curriculum for nursing at UWO, and they'll be presenting what it's like and what they expect to have happen with the nursing profession as years go by, especially in light of what has been happening the last number of months. We're going to have a talk from the county clerk telling us just what it's like, what it was like in November to deal with the election. We've asked the Greater Oshkosh Economic Development Corporation head to come tell us how the Oshkosh economy has been faring through all these last few months from their point of view. We do have an individual from the journalism department talking about, well, what is fake news? how do you feel confident with what you're watching, no matter what it is? And similarly, from the environmental health department at the university, why don't people trust science? This one here about how we lost to COVID is going to be presented by a communications professor who indicates that there was bipartisan destructive communication styles that caused some difficulties. And that is a different approach than, say, just a purely medical approach. How was it communicated? Mr. Roloff, the city manager, is going to be coming to give a state of the city recap for us, and we appreciate his attention. Now, it isn't all quite that uh, somber sort of stuff. We're going to have somebody from Mosquito Hill in New London talk about maple syrup magic and about fungi. This is a more lighthearted sort of thing. We also have an individual who runs M. Venom down on the south side on Oregon Street to tell us about his um, uh, rather high volume farming of snakes and collecting venom from the snakes for various activities. I'm actually looking forward to that. I don't know what you do with venom on a general basis. I have a pharmacist talking about immune support strategies, and one of our individuals who's our staff is going to talk about video chatting. She also gave a presentation about Facebook last semester because she recognized that there were a lot of people in our membership who felt ill at ease doing electronic things, and that it isn't all that tough if somebody takes a little time to explain it to you. And lastly, the Oshkosh Food Co-op, which isn't yet quite done, will be coming in the spring to give us a kind of a sneak peek on what this is all about. This dovetails with the food sustainability in that section of the city where there are no large markets. So we're looking forward to that as soon as they get closer to opening. There are 3 interest groups. These groups run by themselves. They usually run under Zoom because they're small groups, 10 to 15 people, but very intense. There is one group who's writing their own life stories, and they communicate to each other and criticize back and forth about their writing style. There's one here that I wanted to emphasize. It's not part of LIR, although usually we would have theater programs. UWO theater program managed to put together some funding to produce and record a couple of different presentations. You can buy a ticket and then watch these on YouTube when you wish. Their email or their website address is down there, pretty straightforward. uwashuniversitytickets.com. It's like $8.50 for a ticket for the general public, $2 if you're an alumnus. The one about karaoke night with Gilbert and Sullivan is about a desperate Wisconsin tavern owner coming up with a promotion until things went wrong. This is supposed to be lighthearted fare. The same with The Imaginary Invalid, which actually is a production that first came out in the 17th century in France. But apparently it is lighthearted as well. The annual membership starts in July, $100 a semester. If you join in the second half of the year, $50 for the second semester. And it would allow you to go to as many presentations as you wanted. There is an extra charge if it's one of our coach trips or something that has an admission, but most of the time It's lecture type presentations or demonstrations. And down here you can see a bunch of the folks together. And as you can tell, there's a lot of gray, white, and lack of hair in this picture, but that's the way it is. You know, what can you say? One thing we like to bring up is that somebody in the second semester that you know or yourself, relatives, friends, people who are looking for something to occupy their minds, they can sign up, or you can buy them a learning and retirement um, subscription for the second semester. This is our website, and let me give you this. This has even more contact information if you wish. In addition, I want to get myself something. This right here is a tiny URL that I put together for the catalog. This will take you to a web page, and the catalog will be there. It is a downloaded PDF file. So don't expect it to pop up unless you've got that set up correctly on your machine. This, incidentally, right here is an O. It's not a 0. I'll leave this up here for anybody who wants to jot down any of this, or I can pass it along as well later on. The new semester starts in January or February. We do have a couple of presentations still in this month, but the whole new semester starts in February. I can take any questions you might have, and I'll leave this up for just a little bit, and then I'll pull it down.
One question from me is, are there any paid members or management of LIR?
No, the only people who are paid are those who are members of or employees of the continuing education department. The rest of it is completely voluntary.
Sounds exciting.
Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. Any other questions that you might have? Be more than happy to answer.
It's very informative, and you've given me an idea for my husband's birthday.
Ah, okay, good. We're hoping that there's more of that. Yes.
So, okay. Let us go back and I'm sorry, did you have something else to?
No, well, actually, I'm going to have to leave. I can hear my cat is becoming unhappy with where I've put her.
So is mine. But thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. And if you could just stick around for a couple of minutes, I just have to say that together we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe, in our communities, and in ourselves. Now for the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Thank you, everyone. Now go out and be of service and stay safe.